Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Phil from Zaid Comics coming at you live from the Zaid Comics compound. And we're back with another Crossing the Border interview, or I go one on one against, well, not against, but interviewing another creator from CG. And we got a good buddy of ours who is back for his, I think, second time on the Zaid Comics channel with a new book. If you guys haven't seen it, it's awesome. We're going to dive into it. And please welcome Mike Murphy again. What's up, brother? Mike, you there? I can't hear you now. No, Mike. I don't know what's going on, bro. Maybe his computer is lagging. I'm gonna go and type in the. Oh yeah, he dropped out. Oh, here he is again with a new logo. What's up, brother?
Hey man, I couldn't have planned that if I tried. The second we went live, my internet crashed.
Oh no. That's unfortunate, but welcome, man. I think this is your second time on. You were one of our first guests when we started doing this. We had you on for The Gods Fear Me.
Yeah, that's correct. And yeah, that campaign ended up turning out really good.
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm a backer of The Gods Fear Me. I'm really excited for that book to come out. So that I got that Preston cover, which I'm super excited
Right.
about. And you're back for another round, man, with a new comic. You and GB Comics are doling out the books, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, like we're looking at to start fulfillment on The Gods Fear Me around September, and in the meantime, we met up with Raphael, the artist of Deepwell, and he's good to go. So we're good to go.
That's awesome, man. No, that's great to hear. Yeah, Deepwell is what we're going to be talking about today, everybody. If you just joined the chat, please give this video a like and subscribe. Ring that bell so you know when we go live. We do these around every week. I've been having a lot of people contact me wanting to come on here, so we might start doing them on weekends as well to get some more interviews in here. But Deepwell, man, let me pull that up. Really excited about this one. And we don't see a lot of westerns in comics nowadays. When you look back at when almost the height of like back in the day, comics were a lot of westerns.
Right. Right.
Yeah, like before the big Marvel explosion, you had a lot of it's like I know Jack Kirby used to do like romance comics and stuff like that, but then big ones were romance and westerns too, because those were such big flicks back in the day. They were kind of like that time's modern mythology
Mm-hmm.
when you think of all the history with it. But yeah, let's talk about this. What made you want to do a western?
So westerns are something that like I kind of had to grow into.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as a kid, they just didn't really appeal to me, especially in the face of like superheroes and horror and science fiction. But that being said, around the time I was like late teens, early 20s, like heading into college, I discovered Unforgiven, and that kind of changed like completely the way I looked at westerns.
Hmm.
So yeah, man, like from there, you get into like Deadwood, and then you go back and get into the spaghetti westerns, and then you get into other more modern, westerns like Tombstone, and I could go on, Quick and the Dead.
Yeah, man, those two were big for me, man.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, there's just something about the genre that I know westerns for like the large scale audience these days can be like a tougher sell, but there's something about that genre where you can explore like what America means, you can explore isolationism. Like there's so many themes that you can explore in westerns that you can't really do as well in any other genre.
Right, because there's like in a Western setting, there's a very fuzzy line where the law is, right? It's
Oh yeah,
very
man. I mean,
blurred. So you could deconstruct society in a Western element, and that's normalcy for them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, up until, basically 1900, 1905, somewhere in there, I
Right.
mean, sure, you had sheriffs and you had the Pinkertons, but I mean, essentially, like it was kind of, lawlessness. Like, if you could easily prove that, a shooting was justified, well, that was kind of the end of the story as far
Mhm.
as, locals or the sheriffs were concerned.
Right, right. That's and it makes for fun storytelling for sure because you can have these heroic characters that are basically back then like the time superheroes and vigilantes, and that was just a thing, you know.
Right, and that was kind of my starting point with Deepwell. So, one of my rewatches of Deadwood a few years ago, just the thought occurred to me, what would happen if the Lone Ranger just rode into town right now?
Yeah,
And that, like that thought alone kind of like, even when you just pitch the story that way, it kind of fills everyone's head with exactly what that story is, because you have all those different power dynamics and power struggles in Deadwood, and then in comes this like virtuous hero figure, and all of that just kind of clashes with each other.
really cool, man. Well, let's hear your pitch, brother, and I want to get into some of these characters too because they're pretty unique. I dig them.
You
What
got
is
it.
Deepwell about?
The book is all about a dark vigilante fighting to free the innocent townsfolk of Deepwell from the evil Block family, while at the same time getting revenge for a huge injustice from over 20 years ago that's tied to the very origins of the town. The Grey Devil takes no prisoners, and neither do the Blocks themselves, so it's all out war pretty much from page one. Deepwell is for readers who want a little grit mixed in with their optimism, and it's for adults who are sick of being spoken to like children in their entertainment. There's no baby speak here in Deepwell. We don't pull any punches. You're going to find a redeeming story at its core. We're just a little harsh about getting there. I want everyone, even those out there who may think they're not into westerns, to feel how I felt checking out stuff like Unforgiven and Deadwood for the first time.
Yeah,
No genre is impossible to get into. All you need is the right hook. Just look at stuff like Rockstar's Red Dead series and Westworld. Well, the first season at least.
yeah.
Uh, so Deepwell is one part grim family drama, one part superhero vigilante action story, and one part hyper-violent Western thriller. The book is drawn by Rafael Dantas with full colors by me. The base perk comes in at $15, and like I always say, we'd love to have everyone listening come along for the ride.
Yeah, man, dude. Dude, you did all the colors and the interiors. That's
Yeah, yeah,
pretty freaking awesome.
just like with God's Fear Me.
Yeah, dude. I dig the coloring of this. It's very gives me a throwback feeling of those old classic Western comics, you know. It looks like something that would be in what comics were before there were comics and in those old magazines, those
Thanks,
serials.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted something that kind of stood 180 from what I did with God's Fear Me, where each of those pages just kind of drips neon.
Yeah, right.
Um, yeah, so like that, the whole style for Deepwell came from just kind of, playing around with the cover, because I worked from the bottom layer to the top layer, or I should say the background to the foreground.
Oh, okay.
And by the time that I got to, filling in the colors for the block characters, um, they were kind of getting lost with everything else. And I came up with the idea of laying down a sepia tone layer and then making that color halftone. And it made the cover pop, and it just made perfect sense of like, okay, well, if the stuff in the background is just flat colored halftone and then you have like full normal coloring on top of that, like that separates the foreground from the background, and it creates this kind of really distinct look.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, dude. And who's doing the lettering for this? Is that you also? Remember?
No, this time around we're going to be going with Adam AF.
Oh, that's
He's
right. I
providing our
totally forgot.
lettering.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is I really like these squiggly balloons.
yeah, me too.
They're really cool. I dig that. Yeah, I really dig that. So that's sick. Tell me more about the Gray Devil.
Yeah, so the Gray Devil and the Cemetery of Forgotten Deeds is our prequel dime store novel that's going to kind of, by the end of book one, you're going to know who the Gray Devil is and why he's doing what he's doing. And the prequel sets the stage for how he became the Gray Devil. And, because with Deepwell, like we're talking about a history that spans like 25 years, and we're going to
Yeah,
be kind of jumping all over the place chapter by chapter. So this covers some of that stuff leading up to where we're at in present day.
sweet man. That's awesome. I really love the character. He's very striking. This scene here, where it's on what I would call that Batman 66 camera angle,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I love that it keeps the reader off balance for the shockingness that's going on here, and you get your heroic stance shot right here. It's going to
Hmm.
deliver some badassery, and I dig the gloves, like purple gloves,
Yeah, man.
reminiscent of like classic Batman, like the first appearance. I dig that. It's just another nice pop of color, not too much. Yeah, this is
Yeah, thanks for noticing that, man. Yeah, with the Gray Devil, I mean, he started off as, obviously like the Lone Ranger inspiration, but
yeah,
given how dark and far he's willing to go to achieve his goals, we knew that he wasn't necessarily a virtuous hero. So at that point, Raphael and I started playing around with like, okay, let's just incorporate like every vigilante into this guy. Like, so there's a bit of the Lone Ranger, there's a bit of
yeah.
Batman, there's a bit of the Shadow.
Sweet. No, that excites me, man. I dig it. And the kind of like the antagonist of this story arc is that family. Is that correct?
Yeah. So like I mean, keeping the HBO comparisons going, like extending from Deadwood to Game of Thrones, which I'd argue there's a lot of connective tissue you can make there. I kind of wanted the core of the story to be this kind of really messed up Shakespearean family drama.
Yeah. No, that's something different and really cool. We see that, like you said, in things like kind of like popular series now, like Game of Thrones. But that's not something you see a lot in comics. I think the only thing that would I could think to compare that to is something like that. Kind of reminds me of the Court of Owls.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool. There was actually a when Snyder did the Court of Owls in the New 52, they kind of like realized that they hit gold with that and ran with it everywhere. So
Right,
uh,
right.
I remember I was picking up All Star Western, which
Hmm.
was Jonah Hex's book for the New 52, and he had a little streak with the Court of Owls because that was back. He was in Gotham and he was playing off of like an ancestor of Jeremiah Arkham, I think, and they were hanging out together and they had to deal with the Court of Owls back then. So really cool. You touch on a lot of awesome stuff here. Really themes that I haven't seen in a really long time or at all. Especially that was kind of like the only Western I've ever read, and this is striking. It's I think what a lot of people don't know they need right now because
I
when you think of comics, this isn't the first thing you think of.
Sure. Yeah, I'm certainly hoping so. Again, I know especially in the comics world, like westerns can be a tough sell, but I'm hoping that people are going to be willing to go along with us for the ride because again, like I said, there's things that you can explore in westerns that just kind of like fall flat on their face when you kind of delve into like either just straight up drama or you try to shoehorn them into like superhero stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff to like go over right now culturally, and I'm just trying to touch on all that stuff and a whole bunch of family dynamic stuff in this book that I can't really do anywhere else.
No, yeah, it's really awesome to see the vastly different stories that you're telling as a writer, through the books you're putting out. I really dig that. I respect that a lot because that's something I'm trying to do as well, for
Thanks, man.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. And likewise, I've noticed it with you as well. I mean, it's that thing where, yeah, like not to say, that it's like one trick pony syndrome, but like, I mean, I think most writers have a whole bunch of stories in their head, and they don't
Yeah,
necessarily all fill into like one genre.
for sure. Yeah, and this is a great place to let that shine, for sure. We got Edward Marlis in the chat. What's up, brother? Sim, of course, was in here earlier, dropping in some awesome links.
Hmm.
And then we got Warpath Gaming. He says, "Why does this sound so much like Missouri-Kansas border war?" I don't know. I don't know, brother. So the what's up with these red guns, man? I dig them.
Yeah, man. So, I like the idea of all of my characters kind of having signature gear.
Yeah,
And yeah, like so it's that comic book thing, right? Of like it starts with, well, that looks cool, so now we have to figure out a way to like make it work.
yeah. Write it into the story.
Yeah, and there is, yeah, like everyone's been like, are they supernatural? No, they're not supernatural. They are forged from red iron, and where the red iron comes from and how they're forged plays into the Grey Devil's identity, and it's stuff that's going to be big plot points in book 2.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I'm glad that I really like that aspect too. You want a character that has some iconic stuff about him, whether it be weapon or clothing, and your character's got both. You look at this guy, and when people see him down the line, maybe a year or two from now, they're going to know where he came from,
Right.
because has that sweet silhouette, and the iconic, the mask, the hats, and the going into that gun as well. So that's great character design on your guys' part. I really dig that, and making that special equipment and that for his 2 red guns. That's
Right.
something I haven't seen before. Again, I dig it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, like as soon as we landed on the red revolvers, like I immediately tried to like start thinking of scenarios where he's completely in silhouette just to like accentuate the red revolvers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's perfect. I dig it. I dig it. So how much hell is this guy gonna raise? You say it's a vengeance story. You got that going on. I was just talking to a buddy today about
Hmm.
westerns, and he does this movie club, and he's gonna watch Tombstone and The Quick and the Dead, which those are top for me, man. I love both of those. Tombstone's my all-time favorite movie,
Nice.
and he was trying to find besides being a western, find a similarity between those movies,
Hmm.
like an underlining theme. And he says that they're both western movies that deal with revenge, that has to deal with family members, like taking revenge out of someone, that deals with family members, which would be the chick in The Quick and the Dead's dad,
Right.
and then Wyatt Earp's brothers, right? So,
Hey,
but
that's
yeah.
that's some deep digging that I never put thought into. That's a
Yeah,
that's a great 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon there.
yeah, for sure. It took him a week to think of that though, because he was
Uh-huh.
trying to come up with, oh, they're both, have weddings in them, and I'm like, that there's no wedding in The Quick and the Dead, man.
Right,
And he's
right.
like trying to pull something out of his ass, but because he needs a theme for his movie club. But
Okay.
in the westerns, I think that's a big part of western. thematics, especially with the like the vigilante western, as opposed to like the heroic like golden age classic American western,
Mhm.
is these vengeance ones. You know, you're getting retribution. You're taking, you know, getting back at someone for you being wronged. So I'm really interested to see, you know, I'm sure you'll get into that when we read how has this character been wronged, and we see like the city's on fire. I don't know, is this what he's willing to do to get back
Oh
at those
yeah.
people? Yeah,
Yeah, man. I mean, look, believe me, it's kind of like it's that thing where it's not like some Shyamalan twist to the
yeah,
whole thing, but you know, there definitely is a revelation towards the end of the book that kind of like flips a lot of what you've been presented with on its head.
yeah,
And yeah, it's that thing of like, I wish I could just like say, well, this happens and then this happens and it means blah.
uh-huh,
Um, but yeah, like to kind of answer your question, he is willing to do anything to take revenge on every member of the Block family, and he kind of sees the town of Deepwell itself as a prison more so than a town. So to the Gray Devil, even though like he's trying to burn down basically the entire town on this very special night, which is also one of the plot points. Um,
yeah,
to to him, it's liberation. So yeah, it's that thing of like, is what he's doing justified? Does everyone in the town see it that way? And more importantly, you know, like the blocks themselves, like they're all trying to maintain power and gain more power, you know, off of each other. So they're all stabbing themselves in the backs too.
yeah. No, yeah, selfish family tactics. You know, see that
Right.
a lot, especially when you're working with family members.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
But we got more people in the chat here. My boy, my brother told me how to say your name yesterday because you did your stream, but I'm still saying Itchthee. But I know the five is an S. That's what I know. And we got Edwin, Edwin the Ace in the chat as well.
Hail, Edwin.
Hail, Edwin. Yeah, if you guys are just tuning in, we are talking Deepwell. Just launched. I think the beginning of last week, was it?
Yeah, we're like 2 days away, I think, from the midway point.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we got a bit to go yet.
Sweet brother. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys like westerns, this guy's literally getting his face blown off.
Dude, that was the moment I knew that Raphael was right for the book, because
Yeah.
like I I described it in the book as the dude gets his face shot off, and I assumed that Raphael would just come back at me with, you know, like a cloud of like red mist or whatever.
Yeah.
And when he turned that in, and it's just this like Garth Ennis-ish, you know, horrible image, I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
That is horrifying. That's like some Mortal Kombat stuff right there.
Yeah,
It
man, for
is
sure.
the face is away, and you see his skull. You see the eye socket. That is insanity.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
dig it. That's a first, man. That's some awesome. That's like some '90s ultra violent stuff right there.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, the whole thing with you know, the bodyguard getting impaled by the weather vane, like
Yes.
that specifically is a scene that's been stuck in my head for almost a decade now.
That's awesome. I dig that. And he throws it into him. Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can see on page one, like we show the weather vane still attached to the top building by the windmill.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you can infer like the Gray
Right.
Devil is kind of running from rooftop to rooftop, knows exactly where he's going, sees that, and he's like, "Well, that's my way in."
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. And, yeah, the action looks great. These are some great pages to have done for this campaign. And I can't wait to see more, man. It's gonna be lots of
Awesome,
fun. Yeah.
awesome. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah. Let's see what you got with wise. And what is I always love looking at the featured perk. That's my favorite perk. What do you have in your featured swag bag?
So, just like with every campaign, the swag bag is going to get you the book and the prequel, but it's also going to get you a bunch of cool extras. So, we've got a map of Deepwell, which is going to be drawn by Raphael,
Oh, nice.
a set of 7 character design trading cards, which are all designed by Raphael. And then the biggies, we've got one print of Myra Block. She's the eldest of the siblings, and that's going to be by Vinnie Tartamella.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And then we've got a print of the Grey Devil himself, and that'll be done by John Malin.
Wow, dude, some heavy hitters. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it kind of all came together at once. At first, it was just going to be one of those dudes, and then just things kind of overlapped and happened magically. I'm like, all right, well, that then people get 2 prints.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. No, that's really exciting. Um, we got. I mean, I'm excited to see those. We got one of the best names I've seen in this chat, Stank Finatra. Hail, brother. Sup, folks? Just stopped by to
Nice.
say hi. Hi, thanks for stopping by, man.
Hello.
Hope you're digging what you're seeing here of Deepwell, new Western comic on Indiegogo. Definitely check it out. The link is in the description below. And of course, you always have to have your one copy, your 2 copies. And how many pages is this? Because you're pricing your single copy at $15.
Yeah, so we're following the same format as Gods Fear Me.
Okay.
Book 1 is 32 pages, and we're hoping that by the time we get to book 2, we can increase that to 48 pages, and maybe even further down the line, book 3 can be 60 pages.
Oh yeah. No, that would be awesome. I
Yeah.
love, especially seeing guys like you, guys like Adam Post, Drew, who their campaigns increase when they do their next campaign.
Yeah.
Really gives us guys like me and my brother motivation to get those campaigns out and in front of people to see that growth.
Hmm.
Which is always awesome to see that fan base growth.
For
So
sure. For sure.
this one's single copy in the prequel, so that's like your basic, but without that swag, right?
Yeah, if you just want the story,
All right,
that's the
cool,
perk that you want.
awesome. So there's some good content there. Supporting the troops, always awesome one to have. Send some books overseas.
Yeah, we've been doing it since Samurai. 2 copies to you, 3 to the troops, fulfilled via Operation Paperback.
Sweet. And what is this one? This is the last. Yeah, tell me about this one, man.
Yeah, man. So, we had that run in with Edwin last year, and yeah. So since then, kind of to celebrate that, with the Gods Fear Me, we did the
Yes.
Schemes and Scams perk,
Yes.
and so we're gonna do that every campaign, and this time around, it's the White Drug Special.
That is awesome.
So yeah, it's the ultimate tier, the biggest way that you can support us in the project. You're going to be getting everything that comes with the swag bag, but you're also going to be getting a proof copy of Deepwell.
Oh, cool.
You'll be getting an original 11 by 17 piece done by me and Selena Hernandez.
Nice.
And the big one is because Raphael works digitally most of the time. The final page of the book you'll be getting from Raphael himself, hand drawn.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
And it's the last page. It's going to be something good.
yeah, it's big.
That's awesome. That is really cool. Yeah, so check out these perks, guys. I love you. You kept it simple. You got your big perk that is gonna, it's kind of like that kick to the face right there. That perk you're getting a lot in that. And then yeah, this is just some great content. I would suggest getting that swag bag. You get 2 awesome books in there, plus a bunch of trading cards. You get prints by some great artists. This looks like an awesome campaign. Definitely share it out too. If you guys go on here, check it out, back it, and then share it. Tell your friends. You have some friends that love westerns because I love westerns. A lot of people do too, and this is taking it into a really cool direction we haven't seen in a really long time. Making
Mhm.
a new western vigilante. So yeah, check it out, guys. Yeah, and if Mike, if you don't mind, I was just gonna go over my campaign, and then we
Of course.
will get out of here, brother.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. So we are here with the Lost Pages. We are. I think this is the third week that we've been up, and just 12 days left. We have 210 backers. I can't believe it. We went and blasted through our first big stretch goal, which adds an awesome short story to the bonus comic by my brother Brandon. So he's not only a co-creator, he's going to be an artist on this one as well. Let me scroll down and show you his character named the Pianist. She is this sexy badass assassin chick, totally like a 90s style bad girl, like she or Psylocke. And
Nice.
she's gonna get a 4-pager in that bonus comic, as well as with our bonus comic stretch goals. It also comes with a trading card for everybody else. So Doodle Bags is going to be doing a pianist trading card. Um, yeah, it's going well. Thank you everybody who's supporting this book. We only have 12 days left, so if you're going to get it, definitely get on that. We added this interior cover, which I just picked it up from Maria the other day, and it is 11 by 17. It is beautiful. Pencils and inks. You guys could pick this up as well if you want some original art. Definitely grab this one, and it gives the artist a little bonus as well. So some of that money goes to them. So check it out. Watch the trailer. Um, we have some awesome stuff coming from for you. Some more sketch cards, and hopefully, if we get those stretch goals, the next one, EJ Morges is going to be doing a 4-page short story for us with another trading card by an unannounced artist right now. So get on it, guys. This is our next big thing, and we want it to be in as many hands as possible when it comes out, for sure. We got Sim dropping links in the chat. Definitely go and check out the books, guys. And yeah, dude, Mike, thanks for coming on once again, man. You're always welcome, and I'm glad we were able to hang out and go over your new project.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having me, man. It was a pleasure.
No problem, man. Is there any last words, or where can people find you on social media and that such?
Yeah, sure. So, okay. So, yeah, obviously, please back Deepwell, and also if you're interested in Samurai and Dinosaurs, we have a first printing leftovers campaign still running. There's, I think, 17 copies left at this point. If you're interested in that Kelsey
Wow.
Shannon cover, this is kind of your last chance to get it because when we go to our second printings, that's not going to be the cover anymore.
Oh yeah. That's
Um,
awesome.
you can find me on Twitter at chibi_Mike, and you can find me on YouTube at the Chibi Mike, all one word. Check out Sundays. I usually do an episode of CG One-on-One where I just hang out for an hour with another CG creator. Because this Sunday is Father's Day, we're going to be moving it to Monday, and I should be on with Eric Weathers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications because we do streams like these all the time. Tonight, if you guys aren't doing anything else, head on over to Billy Tucci's channel, which is his Pop XP channel. My brother and I will be there. I think we're the last guest on tonight. They just started up the stream, so go over there, sub to those guys. Watch those other creators, and then be there. I think we're going to be on around 9 Central with the Tooch and Niall, and talking about our book. So definitely do that, and we will see you guys later. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.